Okay, so I have a story time for you. Tell me that you do not believe in fate after I tell you this. I wrote a 1966 Dodge Dart convertible into my new upcoming book, Say You'll Remember Me. Here's the cover. I wrote that car into this book because when I was 16, my grandfather gifted me a 1966 Dodge Dart convertible. I drove it for 2 years. I was in love with that car. And I decided to give that car to my main character, Samantha, in the book. So I write the book, I give my character this car. All the things that happened to my character in that car in the book actually happened to me when I was driving that car when I was 16. Forward to me in Michigan a couple of weeks ago. I'm in Michigan and I run into a lady who is driving a 1966 Dodge Dart convertible, electric blue, the exact car that I drove when I was 16. I have never, in the almost 30 years since my dad sold that vehicle, ever seen a Dodge Dart in the wild, let alone one that is the exact year, make, model, color, everything of the car that I drove. It was a sign. I was absolutely heartbroken when my dad sold my Dart. I was 19, 20 years old. The car was no longer running. I didn't have the money to repair it or maintain it. I didn't have a garage to store it in, but I do now. So my husband and I start looking. We spend several weeks looking and we find a 1966 Dodge Dart convertible GT, and it's in Vacaville, California. I'm in Minnesota. So my husband and I talk about, are we going to fly out there to go test drive it? Are we just going to trust that the car is in the condition the guy says it's in? Or do we ask author Julie Soto's dad, Steve, to go look at it? Because Steve lives in Sacramento and he's only 30 minutes away. We've only met Steve one time, but he was really cool. Maybe he'll be into it, right? Steve is into it. The next day, Steve drives to Vacaville to go test drive this car for us. We give him a laundry list of things to look at. My husband says, please take it on a lengthy test drive, not just around the block, take it on the freeway, drive it for a good 45 minutes. So Steve goes to test drive this car, vanishes, goes completely radio silent for 2 hours. And I told my husband, either Steve is having the time of his life or something has happened. Steve finally calls us back with a report. It's glowing, okay? He's like, the body is clean. There's no dings, there's no dents, there's no rust. The car drives well. He's like, I open and close the doors. I put the seats down. I check the trunk. Like, he did a very, very thorough inspection. He's like, took it out on the road. It drives really great. It handles well. The suspension is good. The power steering is fine. And then the wheel fell off. What, Steve? The wheel fell off. I got to be so for real with you. That totally tracks with my 1966 Dodge Dart experience. Like, things fell off my Dodge Dart all the time. You'll hear about it in the book. Everything that happened to me. That car caught fire at the mall. So apparently what happened was they were putting brand new tires on this vehicle. They used the wrong lug nuts. They were on the test drive and they felt the back rear tire go wonk. The tire popped off to the side. It didn't completely come off. It didn't hurt anybody. Nobody got hurt. The car was undamaged. The tire just popped away from the side of the vehicle. Obviously, this has given my husband a little bit of pause. It does not give me pause, though, because please tell me why this conversation is actually written into the book. How long are you driving this again, I asked. Until the wheels fall off, probably. Why am I worried that's actually going to happen? That's my car. That is my car. This is the universe telling me that I need to buy this car. I bought that car. I 100% bought that car. We are taking it to a mechanic who is very experienced in restoring and repairing classic vehicles. We're going to make sure it's extremely road safe before we get it out there. And Steve Soto, thank you. You did us a solid and you're getting this in the mail.